Hello, everybody. This is Adam with Hype is Here Media, and today we need to have a conversation. We need to talk about the coffee table. So, as we do, we're going to have a monster, we're going to have a movie, and we're going to have quite the conversation about this movie because I have a lot to say. Man, there's some movies you watch and you go in with an open mind. You hear this and that about a movie and you think to yourself, you know what, that sounds interesting. That sounds like something I want to watch. Now, to be fair, let me talk about first the release that I watched. This is The Coffee Table. This is the Second Sight limited edition release, which, by the way, Second Sight, I've talked about them. They do a fantastic job. They're awesome. Okay, I mean, everything about this release is great. This movie might be one of the most uncomfortable films I've ever watched. And if you've seen it, you know why. This will be spoiler free, but we're going to have some conversations about this movie. As you can see, I have an extra pulled up with the director, Kay Casas, on the screen. And I wanted to show you this. If you zoom in right up, trying to do it right there. Okay. Kay Casas has an extra on this film that says, "What scares us the most?" And when you think about what scares us the most, it's usually things you can't control. Things that could happen, but it's things that you're uncomfortable about thinking about happening. And that is this movie in a nutshell, man. This movie is brutal. This movie is horrific. It's great, though, because it makes you feel that visceral angst, that just constant, what the hell is happening? It's this feeling that builds up as the movie goes on, the uncomfortable feeling of knowing what's happened and knowing what's gonna happen. Kay Casas nails this. This movie was screened if I'm not mistaken, I want to say this might have went through Cannes Film Festival. This went through quite a few film festivals and did very well. But it's there are characteristics of this movie that are the most uncomfortable comedy you'll ever find. But it takes a certain kind of person to watch this movie. Somebody described this movie as a movie they've never wanted to end quicker in their life. They've never watched a movie where they wanted to end quicker than this one. And I felt that angst. Not because it was a bad movie, not because it was boring, just because it was so uncomfortable. So imagine this. The movie starts with a couple who just recently had a child. And the child is literally, we don't know how old the child is unless I missed that part, but this child is most likely weeks old. They're at a store that is lit specifically where you see a salesman under a light and them two with their child in a carrier, and they are being sold a coffee table. This movie is completely in Spanish. It is worth every second to read the closed caption. Okay, the subtitles do their job. But as he sells them this table, there are, again, comedic timing that if you don't speak Spanish, you may miss. And I don't speak Spanish, but I could understand what the director and writers were going for. He buys this table. The wife is completely against this table. Says it's ugly, it's too much money, it's not a good table. He buys the table, and as the wife leaves, the husband who wanted this table says, "Do you really like this table?" Because remember, he's pushing this table as it'll change your life. It'll be the best table ever. It's unbreakable, just all these great things. And he asks the salesman, "Do you really like this table?" The salesman says, "No, I don't." But he still buys it. He brings the table home, and let's just say the wife goes out shopping and leaves him with his baby there. And let's just say this something happens with this table that happens so quick. It's probably top 3 the most uncomfortable moment of any movie I've ever seen. You have to watch it. And then after this thing happens, which again, I'm not going to spoil it, and if you know what I'm talking about, don't spoil it, but tell me in the comments you know what I'm talking about. The thing that he describes in this extra, what scares us the most, one of those things happens. And the rest of the movie is him dealing with what just happened and trying to keep that in to himself. The mental angst, the actor, and forgive me, I'm not familiar with the actor. Let me see here. I believe it's actually, I think it's, and forgive me, I may be wrong. I think it's Joseph Riera. I'm trying to again, no, it might be David Pereira. I don't know. I don't know the gentleman who, and that's my bad. I should know that. I should have came in this a little more. I actually just got through watching this and I felt like I had to put this on film. But the actor who plays the husband, who's Jesus, and Maria's the wife, there's so many little things he does so well. And then you get the brother and his either current wife or soon-to-be wife. They come over for dinner, and the whole time this story is being told, just through the actions or lack thereof from the husband. After the thing that happens, there is a moment where you're just sitting there trying to absorb and comprehend what just happened. And then something else happens where you're like, oh my God. If you miss, and I'll say this, this film hit me in just a different way, okay? It hit me in a different way than, to be quite fair, I think any other film has hit me. And you have to watch this film. So let me show off this release real quick. As you'll see, this is the book that comes with it, the coffee table. And everything about this is foreboding, right? There is the broken table. And the broken table is almost, it's almost a metaphor for their relationship, because their relationship has been broken since having the child. And to be fair, there's a point in this film where you understand that he wasn't ready for a child. She needed a child. She had trouble having the child. And they're just broken beyond that. He hates the name of the child. You have a... Not to mention the fact, by the way, and I don't think I'm spoiling anything when I say this, there's a neighbor who has a 13-year-old daughter who is just batshit crazy. She thinks that Jesus is in love with her, and she is taking things that Jesus has said and done and trying to say, hey, you need to admit you love me. And she says, look, I'm going to go to your wife with this. And he's like, that never happened. And she's like, she'll believe me over you. So take that into account of the uncomfortableness in this film. Like, you have to watch this film, okay? The look on this man's face, it's so good. The title of this this part of the book is Black with No Sugar, Horror and Humor in the Coffee Table. You may not get the humor in this film. Here is, by the way, the salesman, swarmy looking fella, get the glare off there, who sells them the coffee table. There's so many things I could say about this, that this book, by the way, does a great job of just explaining. Read this book. If you bought this movie, the second site release, read the book after. I can guarantee this table will change your life for the better. That's what the salesman says to the gentleman. There is more than just the usual sales pitch. It seems like the salesman is selling a lifestyle. There's just so much about this, y'all. So again, I'm not going to spoil it. The way the film ends, the film ends exactly like you think it would. But the ride there is the most uncomfortable, 90 minutes, I think it was, that I've ever been through. 90 minutes. Man. So the disc is in there. This is one disc. It's Blu-ray. It's fantastic. I'm not going to take the lobby cards out, but you can see it does come with lobby cards as well. There are some moments in this film, and I'm not going to keep repeating myself, that I would rival as Midsommar levels. So that is all I've got. We had a movie. We did have a monster. Comment down below. Don't spoil it, but on a scale of 1 to 10, how uncomfortable did this movie make you? Did you get any of the humor, the uncomfortable dark humor that came with this film? And would you recommend this film? Again, we're talking about the coffee table. I'm going to have the rest of my monster, what's left of it. This is Adam with Hype Is Here Media. Consume some media, buy some media, enjoy some media. Have a great day.